Good morning, sports fans, and welcome back to the Fuel Up, Borderfield's exclusive morning show. My name is Byron Smith, Director of Operations of Borderfield Sports, and of course, your gracious and always humble host. Right? I could be egotistical. Right? I'm pretty great, but I stay humble for this show. Welcome back to the show. We did take Monday off this week. It's a pretty slow weekend. We also stayed up all night Sunday playing Civilization, so there's that. But welcome back to the Thursday show. It also still has been a fairly slow week, and it looks like it's going to be another fairly slow weekend. So today's episode might be a bit more speculative than we really wanted it to be, but hey, you get what you pay for with the show, and you didn't pay anything for this show, so just jump along for the ride, all right? Today we're going to talk about a little bit of what happened last weekend. We're going to look forward a little bit, specifically with the NBA. We're going to kind of talk about the last month of the season, some MVP voting, how we see the playoffs shaking up here at the end, specifically that 8th seed in the West is really interesting. And then we might crap on baseball if we have time. Who knows? There's always time for that. You never know. So let's jump right into it. Last weekend did not have much going on. Again, there was a UFC fight night. We got a hugging fest for a main event as Vettori just absolutely dominated Kevin Holland on the ground. You should have probably seen it coming. Vettori is a wrestler. Kevin Holland has no clue what he's doing in a ring. You get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to use that phrase a lot now. I think I'm going to adopt that phrase. But this weekend was also WrestleMania weekend. We talked about it a little bit on the Thursday show last week. It wasn't good. We have the night 2 recap here from Roberto Padilla at Borderfield Sports. The only two good matches I would deem were the night 2 were the first one, which was The Fiend versus Randy Orton. And mind you, I said during Thursday's show that The Fiend was a worn out gimmick. And the last one, which was the triple threat for the WWE title between Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, they just put on a really good, really high stakes emotional match. Had a great build up, great promo. I buy in. I mean, it's also not like the first time we've seen Roman Reigns hold a title at the end of WrestleMania, though. And it's definitely not the second. Sure as hell isn't the third. I think it's the fourth. It's getting a little played out with Roman Reigns. People are really starting to get tired of it, or at least they should be. They act like they gave Roman Reigns this new heel persona, and suddenly it's okay that lol Roman wins. It's not. It's not. I mean, but at the same time, I can sit here and say that was the right call for that match. Right? Daniel Bryan is going to leave the company if he hasn't officially left the company, if that wasn't his last match. And Edge is Edge. He has injury problems. You can't really, you put something on him like that, you're going to run the risk of losing money because he gets injured. Right? Or you're going to run the risk of him retiring here in the next, few months. Right? It's the right call, but at the same time, it's a bad call. Right? They almost kind of worked themselves into a small little no-win situation. However, you can't really complain when they put on that good of a match. Right? So, it is what it is. WrestleMania was fine by all accounts. I mean, Bad Bunny, a celebrity, put on a crazy good match during night 1. I don't know who trained that guy. There's a lot of rumors about who trained him, and it seems like every other wrestler is taking credit for having trained him, so who knows? But he did a great job. A lot better than I deemed him. Probably one of the best celebrity wrestling matches outside of Pat McAfee. Unless Bad Bunny wants to leap off of a steel cage onto Adam Cole, I don't think he's gonna top that. But all that aside, let's go ahead and check in on the world's most boring sport over here in the MLB and baseball. What's going on? I don't know. No, seriously, I don't know. I don't follow baseball, can't follow baseball. It is the world's most boring sport. And you might be like, no, I kind of like it. If baseball isn't the world's most boring sport, then you have to explain to me how the MLB for the last 5 to 10 years has been trying every year to implement new rules and new strategies to appeal to casual fans by upgrading rate of play and increasing the speed of the game. If baseball isn't that slow, the MLB shouldn't, or isn't that boring, the MLB shouldn't have to do that. But it is. And the worst part is it's slow and it can end 0-0. It can't end 0-0. It can end 0-1. This game is misery to watch. Right? Like, at least during the steroid era, everyone was like juiced up, and so they just cranked balls. They just launched that crap out of the stadium, and the pitchers were like throwing 103-mile-per-hour fastballs, and it was like, yeah, all them juiced up, but at least it was fair because they were all juiced up. There needs to be a juiced up league, just one league where all the baseball players can just do whatever the hell they want with their bodies and just play. Right? Like, you want to get so juiced up that you're probably going to die at the end of the season, but you're going to have the MVP season and your team's going to win a championship. Go for it, dude. Who the hell am I to tell you what to do? I'm not even going to tell you what to do. I will sit and watch. I'll gladly watch. And maybe that makes me complicit in murder. Arguable. But what are you going to do? Right? Baseball needs something to do. And like, you might be like, well, baseball's America's sport. Okay, tell America that. Baseball's ratings have been dropping for years. Like, they're in the toilet now. I'm pretty sure like the Cooking Channel beats MLB games in terms of ratings at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure more people tune in to watch like a rerun of Iron Chef than watch like the Cardinals and the Cardinals and the Nationals play. Right? It's not an appealing game. Americans don't like it anymore either. Americans don't like much that isn't like super fast paced and super exciting. It's why sports in general are like declining for America as well, though. Like, yeah, baseball's declining at a much more drastic and much more worrying rate. But football's dropping to, basketball's dropping to, golf, the Masters, which finished up this weekend. They had I want to say the lowest ratings of all time, or at least the last 20 years. So, like, Americans just aren't buying into sports as much right now. What does that have to do with I could give you a lot of reasons. It's just younger people aren't as interested in sports. They especially right now, they're not going to games. Right? They don't really have the money to go to games. I think that's an interesting. Like, I'm gonna kind of spitball here as I try to mentally figure it out. They don't really have the money to go to games, right? Which is true. Millennials, I think it's a statistic around 60% of working Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So they don't really get to go to games. They don't get to really have a fandom, build up a fandom, get to spend time seeing the players, seeing the stadiums, living in that environment. So they're less like invested into something like this, which is interesting. I mean, it also doesn't help for baseball's sake that they have those stupid blackout rules. The NFL had them for a while, but they finally got rid of them. And I would say it might also have to do with like broadcasting rights, but the NFL's on free TV. It's on CBS, NBC, ABC, occasionally on ESPN, sure, but I don't want to watch Monday Night Football. Do you want to watch Monday Night Football? I don't want to watch Monday Night Football. And Thursday Night Football used to be on NFL Network, but it will be on Amazon now, which, okay. I need them to announce their broadcast booth, though. I am very curious to see who they put in the booth. Pat McAfee, please. I mean, And, like, you could be like, oh, well, we don't know if he's going to play out. Give him a 1-year contract if he doesn't play out. Okay. He can't be worse than Booger McFarland. Can't be worse than Booger McFarland, which is an upgrade. So, who knows? I really don't want to talk about baseball anymore because baseball sucks. So, let's jump over to the NFL, where we have Aaron Donald being potentially charged with assault. Brutally beat this dude outside of a night, allegedly brutally beat this dude outside of a nightclub in, I want to say, Pittsburgh. Dude accidentally bumped into him at the club. Apparently they had a small altercation inside the club. They were asked to leave, and then outside the club, allegedly Aaron Donald and some of his friends, I do believe, jumped this dude, broke his orbital bone, required 16 stitches in his eye area, which I can tell you as someone who's gotten stitches right above their eye, it's not fun, not real fun, pretty miserable. The NFL's looking into the matter, but we know what the NFL's looking into the matter means. It means they're gonna, like, look at it and then go, okay, police, you guys do your thing. NFL really kind of crap in the bed here recently when it comes to handling player relations. Because we are sitting here and they still haven't done anything about the Deshaun Watson situation. Like at this point, advertisers are pulling their ads, or at least pulling their ads and sponsorships from Deshaun Watson. Next will be from the Houston Texans team. The Houston Texans also haven't done anything, mind you. So, like, the NFL and Houston Texans both get a rub here. And, of course, Deshaun Watson. Let's not take him out of the equation. I think it's fine to still be a little skeptical of the story. Not all the details have come out. Not the legal process hasn't played out yet. Anyone who watched the Tyreek Hill situation a few seasons ago knows, just wait. It looks bad, and it's looking worse, but just wait. But on another hand, like, the women are all planning on, like, coming public now, having their names published. Two or three women now are public. So it'll just be the other 19 women at this point. And the Deshaun Watson attorney has now changed gears, changed course and public discourse, claiming that while Deshaun Watson did have sex with all these women, it was consensual, which I'm not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. But sounds like legal defeat. You have to convince me. At the same time, this is a Texas lawsuit, so I might say, okay, you have to prove to me you had consent, or that there was consent in all of these meetings, right? But at the same time, you're in Texas, so I feel like the burden of proof probably lies on the victim's party to prove that they didn't have consent, which is stupid, but so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yet again, right, like, in the court of public opinion, like, Deshaun Watson's dead. He just died. His lawyer hung him out to dry when he was like, yeah, he did have sex with all 22 women, but he had consent. Like, that's not believable. That's not a believable story. Even if that's what happened, that's not believable. Right? You just lost in the court of public opinion. I do not think that Deshaun Watson plays another snap of football in the NFL. I think he just became nuclear and pretty much unsignable at this point. But you never know. The Houston Texans organization is hot garbage. Their GM is bad. Their owner is terrible. Their director of player operations and player personnel is bad. So who knows? Maybe they just decide, we'll throw him out there. The crowd's gonna boo anyways. The crowd is going to boo anyways. So who knows? But let's jump out of the NFL. Let's go over to the NBA. We're gonna pull up the standings here to start. They're pretty much still playing out. kind of the way we thought they were. Interesting here, the Suns are starting to close the gap with the Jazz, but the Clippers are staying right there with them. Lakers continue to fall out to 5. They're probably going to fall down to 6. Maybe. The Trailblazers are sitting there at 6. We all know how they like to. It is the end of the season, so who knows. The East, playing out how we thought it would, right? No surprises in the East. It looks like it's supposed to. Do we have any upsets in the first round? We have maybe one, and it's the Celtics over the Hawks, but even that's 4-5. So, interesting, but the best teams are going to continue to be the best teams. That's something that we have talked about a lot during COVID. I talked about it with Christopher Tenpenny on not the latest episode, but the episode before that of Borderfield Live. You go check it out. It's on the channel. We talked about COVID sports. It just ended up being the best teams won out because they're the ones that were supposed to. Best teams find a way to win no matter the circumstance. But welcome to the West. The West is a little different here in 6, 7, and 8. Like up at 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it is interesting. You have the two young teams at 1 and 2. Should tell you that the NBA is heading in a new direction. It's heading in a better direction. That the young teams are able to win over the super stacked like championship teams. The Clippers though, hanging on to that nice little 3 seed. They feel like a 2 seed. So it'll be interesting to see how the Suns and the Clippers kind of dance here in this last month. Even the Jazz, though, are within reach for both the Clippers and the Suns. Who knows? The Nuggets sit behind 4 games from the Clippers. Nikola Jokic is having a great year. However, that team just lost Jamal Murray. Yeah, you can't lose your star guard and expect to have the same level of success. He's out for the season. I think it's an ACL. So I expect them to drop to the 5 seed. Is it a little late to drop to the 6 seed? Probably. It's definitely too late to drop to like the 8 seed. So who knows? Unless Nikola Jokic also breaks his ankle, they're probably a 5 or 6 seed. That does give the chance for the Lakers to move back into a home field advantage, which they desperately need for the playoffs, especially with their current injuries and their age. However, this 8 seed continues to be super interesting as we have 1, 2, 3 teams within a one game reach of it, and 4 teams within a two game reach for it, with the Pelicans sitting there at 25 games. However, we're talking about 3 teams under 500, so But one team that is under 500 that I really want to talk about are those Golden State Warriors sitting there at the 9 seed. How the hell are the Golden State Warriors a 9 seed right now? They lost Klay Thompson before the season started. It looks like they were going right back to the same position in the draft so that they could pick another great talent. But James Wiseman stepped up in his games with the Warriors and helped Curry get to the point where James Wiseman's hurt. Okay. Steph Curry, by himself, has been carrying the Golden State Warriors, right? He is absolutely the guy on that team. He's the only guy on that team, and every night he's breaking records. He is now the Warriors' all-time leading scorer, right? He's breaking records for 3-pointers in a night at this point. He's looking like he's going to knock down Klay Thompson's 3-pointer in a season record. Steph Curry is electric right now. Every night there's a new headline about Steph Curry and how great he was. Every night there's a story about, Steph Curry absolutely dropped 50 on this team and led the Warriors to a win. And you might be like, wow, that's really impressive. I wonder where he's at in MVP voting. Here you go. Second to last with 5 votes and not a single one for first place. Behind Donovan Mitchell, in case you're wondering. Also behind Chris Paul and the injured LeBron James. Also behind James Harden and Damian Lillard. It's funny to me how favorable the media is being to Nikola Jokic, who has had Jamal Murray until very recently. Also, Giannis Antetokounmpo getting so many second, third, and fourth place votes that he's almost still in first place is stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. Like, that's stupid. Come on. Giannis Antetokounmpo hasn't even been good this year, let alone third place good, let alone nearly first place. Get him off the board. Come on. I get it. Right, he's the NBA's new golden boy. These analysts who were like, oh, I projected that Giannis would be much better, would be an MVP, a future like star in the NBA, and a future MVP. I'm gonna make sure he's an MVP contender every year. Yeah, he's been crap this year, and you're still giving him MVP votes so that you can stroke your own ego. Sorry, I'm having to choose phrasing because I'm talking fairly quickly here. So, looks like Nikola Jokic is pretty much the, for sure, MVP winner. There's a month left in the season. At this point, media kind of settles behind one person, and they don't let go, even if they're wrong. So, congratulations to Nikola Jokic. I do believe it is his first MVP. So, congratulations. Maybe the future is better with you. Probably not, because big men like you don't survive very long, especially on the Nuggets. We'll see if he's a Laker by the end of the year. But that is about all I have for today's show. Make sure to drop by to borderfieldsports.com. Check out some of our articles we're writing right now. We can actually refresh this, and I do believe there's going to be a new article right here at top. I lied to you. I lied to you. Apparently I refreshed in the background because this was the one I was talking about. So there's a ton of new content that you should definitely go read. We're working on building up an amazing team over at Borderfield Sports. If you're a writer and watching this, dude, drop by the shop, jump over to join our team, right? Don't click on that ad, but come in here. Apply for some of our open positions, right? We're always looking for new people. Our roster of writers is up to like 60 people at this point. That's amazing. That's fantastic, right? We have great people on our site, and we would love for more great people to join our site. So make sure to jump in there, submit an application. We'll get you on board, right? If you have a voice, you have something to say, we'll get you on board. No problem about that. But while you're on our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe, like, send me a comment. Tell me you hate the show. Tell me you like the show. I might read it, right? I would love to be optimistic and be like, yeah, and I will read it. I might read it, right? I have this tendency to not read comments because I'm not trying to ruin my day sometimes, right? I mean, that mostly specifically applies to Facebook comments. If you've ever been on Facebook, you know how toxic Facebook can get, so maybe YouTube's different. I don't know. Leave one and find out. So, besides that, I do want to put y'all on a hit of the day. I feel like this will be a great way to end every show. It's to put you on a nice little song every day that I really enjoy. Today's is Twerp's The Hit featuring Ninja Sex Party. Great synth sound, great synth music. Give yourself a play of it today while you're driving to work, while you're hanging out at work. Give it a little listen, give you a nice little boost for the day. But besides that, that is all I have for you today. I am Byron Smith. You can check me out on Twitter at ByronBorfSmith. You can check Borderfield out at BorderfieldHQ. And besides that, we will see you guys on Monday, where we will likely have another slow show because it looks like an uneventful weekend. But besides that, hit that outro music.